Donald Trump clarifying his comments on implementing a Muslim database to focus on Syrian immigrants. Trump also saying he heard something unusual on 9/11.
I watched when the World Trade Center came tumbling down. And I watched in Jersey City, New Jersey, where thousands and thousands of people were cheering as that building was coming down. Thousands of people were cheering. So something's going on. We got to find out what it is. I do want surveillance. I will absolutely take database on the people coming in from Syria if we can't stop it, but we're going to.
Republican strategist Ford O'Connell with me now, along with Democratic strategist Rich Fowler. Ford, first and foremost, Donald Trump has received a lot of pushback, including from police in New Jersey, saying there were no such cheers. Why would he say this?
Because you want to know what? It doesn't even matter if what he says is politically grounded in fact. This is smart for him because right now 91% of Republicans don't think President Obama is being aggressive enough with ISIS. And frankly, given that 83% of Americans, according to the latest Fox poll, think it's likely or somewhat likely we're going to have a terrorist attack on U.S. soil, this is great news for Donald Trump because he's basically stroking the emotional chord of fear among Republicans.
Rich, why, in your view, wouldn't Trump just say President Obama is not being strong enough? If I'm elected president, I will be different, and here's how, versus creating an event that no one else can verify?
That's what the person with common sense says. Clearly, Donald Trump doesn't have any. I agree with everything that Ford says. Now, here's the problem. Number one, Barack Obama isn't on the ballot. Number two, this type of rhetoric promotes fear. It promotes what we need not to do, right? The ideal is when you have people come to our country, they're going to attack us. This is when we should live our Constitution, be free, go about, have freedom of expression, double down our freedom of religion. This is the time to do it. Donald Trump speaks the opposite of that. He's stoking fears and emotions. It's just the wrong thing to do.
All right, but I disagree. Richard, let me say one thing about Trump's brash rhetoric. It can be interpreted by many different wings of the Republican Party in many ways, not just so-called bigots.
Yeah, but it might be good for the Republican Party, but it's bad for the American people.
Let me tell you how this is being translated among Republicans. Trump is basically saying over and over, technology and terror tactics have changed. Therefore, we have to rethink how we're going to fight the war on terror, and I'm going to change this, and Barack Obama's not doing it.
What is he going to do? He's outlined no policies at all.
I was just going to say, Ford, to your credit, to me, just as a citizen and future voter, that makes a lot more sense because what you said is true, and I feel like Trump is discounting in some ways by describing something that at least no one else can verify. I want to just play for you right now his comments on mosque surveillance.
I want surveillance of certain mosques, okay? If that's okay. I want surveillance. And you know what? We've had it before and we'll have it again.
Ford, what does this kind of comment mean to you? After 9/11, President Bush actually went to a mosque and stood there and spoke to people, spoke to the community. Is that what's needed now or more Donald Trump?
Well, remember, Donald Trump is still trying to win the Republican presidential nomination. And sometimes this sort of rhetoric and saying, I'm not going to discount doing anything to keep America safe is what is resonating. I do think if you do become a general election nominee, you're going to have to take approach more like George W. Bush and go out into Muslim communities and make sure that everyone knows we're on the same page.
But remember, that's part of the problem,
Trump's not worried
Ford.
about the general election.
Rich?
That's the hugest problem, the fact that you're going to have one position when you're running in the Republican primary, then you're going to shake it up, act like none of that happened, and then have a new position when you're running as a general election. Which candidate is he going to be? Now, let me tell you, what Donald Trump justifies is Japanese internment camps. That's exactly what he's saying. That's exactly what this rhetoric means. It's wrong, it's un-American, and most Americans shouldn't, no Americans should subscribe to that belief whatsoever.